Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Emily and today I am going to be going through my November wrap up. The month of November I did not read a lot, but I was also struggling with some personal stuff, so for like 1 week I did not read whatsoever because I couldn't pick up a book. And Max is gonna join. I actually like sitting down and just playing with him while I do these videos, like even though it could be a little inconvenient at times, as you can just see, but it's fun and he enjoys just being with me and having some fun. Isn't that right, Max? Anyway, so I only have read 5 books in the month of November. I didn't have the best reading month in terms of new favorites and things like that, but I'm glad I did read some of the books that I read, and currently I am still reading 2 books, but I will definitely have them finished by tomorrow at the latest, today being like the 1st of December and tomorrow being 2nd of December. So I would count that as November, just because it gives me more books to read that I've read in November, as well as the fact that I read the most of them, like the most of the book in November. So I read the most of that book in November, so it kind of feels a bit cheaty putting it in December, being like, oh yeah, I read this in December even though I read the most of it in November. That's my view on it. Anyway, so I'm going to start off with the books I'm still currently reading. So firstly is The Ellie Chronicles, the first book, While I Live. So this is a book that I was a bit skeptical about reading to begin with. This was not a book that I was wanting to read because I feel like the Tomorrow series ended pretty good. I didn't think I needed more. I didn't think that it needed more, but the author, John Marsden, had decided to publish more, which it did not need. Honestly, it did not need. I am about 80% through this book and I am tempted to DNF the series at this point. I finish off the book and then DNF the series, but I've been told to at least read the 2nd book, and the 3rd book is utter garbage, so don't read it. So I don't know how, it depends on how I like the 2nd book. Maybe I think I'm gonna read the 2nd to see what the whole deal is, because that's what I've been told, but I don't know. But I was very tempted to DNF this, and I was told don't DNF it because the 2nd book is better. I'm like, okay, usually 2nd book is never good unless you're like the Brown sisters, because all 3 books are amazing, and I will talk about one of them in a minute. That's my opinion on the book. I haven't finished it, but let's just say that I now know how to fix a cow's prolapsed rectum. Yeah, it actually described how to fix it in this book. Do I really want to know that? No, I don't, but I've been told now, so now I have this knowledge that I am now telling you that now I know how to fix. And I complained to my husband, he's like, yeah, but you're reading a book about a farmer. It's like, but do I really need to know how to fix a prolapsed rectum? And he's like, it's a book about a farmer, like they're going to do that. And I'm like, but do I want to know about it? Like, I did not sign up to know about this. Next is We All Fall Down by Rose Szabo. I know about all the criticism about this book, and I went into reading it knowing all the criticism, and there could be some bias as to how I'm feeling about this book, but at the same time, it was not a good book. Like, I'm still reading it. I'm about 70% through. It's not good. I feel like the majority of the characters are the exact same people. Like, I could not tell you which character they were talking about half the time. Like, even with pronouns, still have no clue because all the characters are the same. I didn't catch, maybe because I'm just kind of skimming through it at this point because I'm not really paying too much attention, but I've kind of didn't see the part that everyone was getting annoyed about and frustrated with, which I can totally understand. The plot keeps changing every 2 seconds. I don't know what this book is about, because at the beginning it was about this guy. I'm probably going to go into spoilers, even though I haven't even finished the book. It's about this guy coming into the new city to get some information, to get a book, which has not even come back up in this book. And to meet a witch, which has not even come back since like 3 chapters in. And she's meant to be important, and I don't know. We also know that there is a child of a witch who's got magic, but half of them have magic. So I don't know who this, I think I know who it is. I think it's Jessie, who keeps changing in and out of being a female because they don't know how they identify, which fair, no judgment there. But it just seemed very cheap queerness in some aspects. I can't exactly say this is, yeah, it's so cheap, but like I don't understand how people feel in terms of gender and stuff like that, so I can't, like, you know, reflect on it on my own feelings when it comes to gender. So that's really, so I can't exactly say whether those feelings of gender identity and queerness and stuff like that really, yeah, so I can't actually comment on that per se, but it just feels cheap. And as I said, half the characters sound the same. The importance of different characters, yeah, I don't even know, and I don't understand the plot, and it keeps changing every 2 seconds. And now it's a murder mystery, but now the murder is kind of like not there anymore, and now it's about this gang. So I don't understand what's going on, and I will not read the sequel to this because it's meant to be duology. It was bad. It's, yeah, I haven't even finished the book, and I've been tempted to DNF it a couple of times, but I was like, you know what? Let's just stick it through to see, you know, how much worse it can get. And I feel like it's getting worse every single time I pick it up because I don't know what's going on and I'm not paying attention, and maybe that should be a good reason just to DNF it because I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the next book because this book infuriates me so much. Next we have The School of Good and Evil by Soman Chainani. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, I'm sorry. I should have probably looked this up before starting the video. I am sorry about that. Yes, Max, give me the side eye on that one. This book was actually decent. It was good. And I can see the differences between the movie and the book. And I kind of like the changes that the movie did in comparison to the book. Like aging the characters up, I actually think that is definitely good. And I don't know about the change in, I'm trying to figure the wording for it. Yeah, so there's differences that I liked. Like I liked the book as it is, but I appreciate what the movie was trying to do with the script, with what they were given. So I do appreciate that. I'm curious as to what's going to happen in the following books. I really did enjoy the movie and I enjoyed the book. I've got no complaints at the moment. Now I'm just trying to think of the book. But I really enjoyed Agatha and I really enjoyed Sophie. And honestly, if no one could see that Sophie was evil at the beginning, you weren't paying attention. But I suppose it is a kid's book, so like they see these qualities are like seen as good acts, good things. But at the same time, she was never she was very selfish. She wasn't yeah, she never gave her time to anyone. She only, if it serviced her, that's when they would do it. Like being friends with the outcast made her think that that was going to be the good deed that would get her into the good school. But Agatha was just like, I don't care about this. I don't want anything to do with this. I just want my friend. And Sophie was always like, oh, but I only care about being in the good school. I only care about this. And like always dismissed Agatha, and I didn't understand why Agatha clung onto her, but I suppose if that is Agatha's only friend, then I guess that makes sense. But I'm kind of glad that they cemented the friendship a bit more in the movie though, because that, yeah, I really hated reading Agatha's side of view constantly when it came to Sophie. Maybe that's just more like personal experience with feeling like you put a lot into a friendship and then getting nothing back from the other person. Maybe that could be just my personal experience, I don't know. So I really did enjoy this book and I cannot wait to continue reading on with the series. The next book is Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert, and I finally have finished another series this year. Like, ooh, go me, I finished a series. I actually really enjoyed this book. It was really good. I think it was just a nice change of pace because I typically read like fantasy sci-fi, and when I read something like romance and just something, you know, down to earth a bit more, not so convoluted and plots and side stories and stuff like that, I definitely do appreciate having those breaks, and this was amazing. Like, I loved it. I'm pretty sure it's like my book of the month, but like the way I do my book of the month is like if I have picked a book in before, like in the series as a book of the month of the year, I don't want to pick it again because it's like feels a bit cheap. But it's definitely, I probably will make like an exception because it's literally the best book I've read this month, I would say, because no books could compete with this. It was a masterpiece. I loved it, and I will probably be definitely keeping an eye out for any work that Talia Hibbert comes out with in any of her previous catalogue, because I love these books so much and I love the Brown sisters. Each book has been amazing in its own right, and I think I loved Eve as she was a bit more relatable in comparison to Chloe and Danny, who have like set up their lives and everything and still like they don't need to figure anything out, whereas Eve definitely needed to figure things out on what she wanted to do. Last but not least is Still Me by Jojo Moyes, and this is another book I have finally finished this year, book series. I finished this year. Go me, finishing series this month, even though it was a bad reading month for me. This was actually really, it was nice. I actually kind of liked the whole full roundedness of Louisa's story. I don't know if I'll read Louisa in Quarantine. I know that's a short story that Jojo Moyes came out with during quarantine to help people, you know, not feel so alone, I would suspect. It was really nice, you know, having Louisa get into a different comfort zone and finding out a lot more about herself as well. And I'm kind of happy in a way that she didn't move, that she didn't move back to the UK for love, and that she's like, I'm not gonna move because I want to live my life here, but if you want to move to, if you think that this love is worth it, I want you to move to the US with me. Like, he ended up moving, but like it's a smaller compromise compared to what her compromise is, because yeah, he can just do like Sam, who we meet in the second book, he can just do a course that it says that he's certified to work in the US where as a paramedic, whereas Louisa would have had to start her business from scratch, move all the furniture, move all like the clothes and everything from landlord, I could say. Yeah, and then also moving the dog and everything, and she promised to look after the dog. And yeah, I would definitely say that it was a lot more well-rounded than the second book. The second book was absolutely garbage. But at the same time, you need to read the second book in order to understand Louisa's relationship with Sam, which we meet in the second book as her new possible love interest. And I think they work well together. I think I'm a lot more of a fan of Louisa's relationship with Sam than what I am with her relationship with Will. I didn't really understand the whole love between those two. The movie definitely makes it more lovey-dovey, whereas in the book it's not so much a romantic love. It's definitely more of a friendship love, and even if Will decided to live, it would not have lasted, because I think even though she said, I don't expect anything from you, she would have at the end, I think, would have gone bored with him, because he would have been because Will was a very depressed person. And even then, the whole savior complex thing I also did not like. And even like when Will was talking about his side, I'm like, it makes sense for Will to do what he wants to do. I don't really like this whole savior complex thing that Louisa was giving off. So those are my opinions on the Me Before You series. I will probably make a video going more into depth with the series, just because I like doing my ranking and reviewing, but that was just my kind of spiel on that. Anyway, so yeah, so as I said, my favorite book of the month is Act Your Age, Eve Brown. I gave it like a 4.29 or something like that, so it was very high up there, and it's definitely a good read, and I highly encourage anyone to read those books, because the Brown sisters, amazing, chef's kiss. What more can you ask for in a romance series? Anyway, that's all from me today. I hope you enjoyed. Give it a like if you liked this video. Comment down below what was your favourite read of November, and subscribe if you want to see more of this. I don't know what this is, but we'll figure it out. And anyway, I will talk to you later. Bye!